Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of year. In fact, I can smell it in the air. It's the time where people leave the WWE to jump ship to AEW. Because this happens every single year. Contracts are up and AEW swoops in to try and replenish their talent pool. And right now, the WWE has some very prominent WWE superstars that either are existing free agents or are about to be free agents. Just look at Ricochet. Ricochet has already announced that he will not be re-signing with the WWE as soon as his contract is up. Like, Ricochet is as good as gone. But it's not just Ricochet. There are a handful of WWE superstars that are in this position, and I wanted to talk about them. So today we're going to be looking at some prevalent WWE superstars whose contracts are up, are in negotiations, and the likelihood that they might jump ship from the WWE over to AEW. And just for fun, I added a couple there at the end of people that I think should just jump ship to AEW, frankly. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know that you're going to fall in love with this YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. All right, let's jump into it. So let's start the conversation by talking about the aforementioned Ricochet, who has announced to the WWE that he plans on leaving the WWE as soon as his contract is up. He is confirmed, more or less, that he is leaving the WWE, and I'm sure he will have no shortage of suitors, whether it's AEW, TNA, New Japan, or maybe Ricochet wants to throw his name into the ring of independents and making a Matt Cardona-like run across all the independents across the planet. So Ricochet is going to be just fine, whether he stays with the WWE because they pony up a ton of money and promise him a lot more TV time, who knows, or whether he goes off to try and test the waters of free agency. Ricochet is going to be landing on his feet. The question is it a good move for Ricochet to jump from the WWE to AEW? And I think that there's quite a bit to analyze here, because if you look at his time in the WWE, I do feel like Ricochet has hit a ceiling that I don't see him ever breaking out of, and I don't see any evidence that the WWE is going to let him break out of it. Ricochet's role in the WWE is to put on banger matches. That's more or less it. That's it. That's all. There's nothing deeper that they give him in terms of storylines. They don't give him good, adequate microphone time to really help develop his motivations and his character. It really is. Ricochet is awesome. Put him out there, either make somebody look awesome in defeat or have an awesome match that he wins, or have him try and put over the 3-minute speed title. Whatever it might be, Ricochet's role in the WWE is very clearly defined. And I just don't see a world where the WWE expands his role beyond what he already has. I feel like they tried with Ricochet to expand, to let him out of his shell, to see if he can actually go toe-to-toe with an interesting storyline and a good mic worker. And we saw it last summer with Logan Paul, of all people. A feud with Logan Paul should put you on the freaking map. But frankly, Logan Paul kind of ran circles around Ricochet, and Ricochet at times on the microphone looked lost. Granted, Logan Paul is out of this world good when it comes to the microphone. He's a storyteller. This is what he does for a living before he even joined the WWE. As an influencer, he is natural in front of a microphone and in front of a camera. Meanwhile, Ricochet sometimes looks like deer in the headlights, and he never looked like more deer in the headlights than that feud with Logan Paul, where Logan Paul was just so much better than him. And that was a feud that gave Ricochet a lot of time, not just to demonstrate to the world that he's a great in-ring performer, but to give him an opportunity to, like I said, break out of that shell with microphone time and something deeper in terms of story narratives, and I don't think that he's succeeded with it. And if you look at everything that he's done after that Logan Paul feud, he's really just been held to the showcase of in-ring prowess. So I think it might be a combination of WWE not wanting to really risk another high-profile feud with Ricochet like they did with Logan Paul, or maybe the WWE just sort of understands that they've gotten the best possible out of Ricochet. I just see so much narrative online that Ricochet is not given any opportunities, but the man is on TV almost every single week, and he was given like one of the highest profile feuds of all of 2023, and I just don't think that he performed that well in that feud to warrant him getting these world championship opportunities that a lot of people are clamoring for him to get. So I'm sorry to be the realist here, but I think Ricochet has reached the ceiling in the WWE, which I think it's why it's smart that he should explore other avenues outside of the WWE. Be honest with yourself. Do you see Ricochet getting an opportunity to do more than what what he's doing right now in the WWE? Because frankly, I don't think so. I think the best thing that WWE could potentially do for him would be to repackage him as Prince Puma and run with that for a little while, but that's not gonna happen. Meanwhile, he can bring back the Prince Puma character. He can bring back a masked Ricochet out in the independents. He can be himself out in the independents. He could be so many different things that he himself controls in the independents. But when it comes to AEW, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't see how they could utilize him any different than the WWE is already utilizing him. I think that if he were to go to AEW, it would be to have unbelievably good matches. But that's it. I don't see them giving him these like big narratives or tons of microphone time. I think he would just land in the same position that he was in the WWE. So I don't think that AEW, unless the money is like a significant upgrade, is actually the right choice for Ricochet. It might just be to bet on himself, show the world what he can do with the microphone and with storytelling in the independents, and make the world know what he's actually capable of. It's like the Matt Cardona effect. Like Matt Cardona went out into the independents and proved to the world that he is an A+ caliber performer outside of just like a single woo 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 gimmick. Maybe that's what Ricochet needs in this scenario. I don't know if going from one mainstream wrestling organization where he is the awesome showcase of in-ring performance to go to another wrestling where he would be literally the exact same thing, a showcase of awesome in-ring performance, is the right move. If I were Ricochet, I'd bet on myself going to the independents. Chad Gable, on the other hand, has demonstrated his ability to not just obviously be a fantastic in-ring performer, but in the last several months, he has really broken out and demonstrated to everyone that he is an amazing storyteller. In my opinion, he's currently involved in the best thing in all of professional wrestling right now. This heel tyrannical version of himself where he is just bullying every single member of Alpha Academy, what he's doing with Sami Zayn, the in-ring stuff that he's doing with Sami Zayn, Bronson Reed, frankly, like, it's just phenomenal. And unlike Ricochet, Chad Gable has demonstrated that it's more than just his awesome technical wrestling, that he can be one of those larger than life characters. So I'm sure that AEW is looking at that and seeing how they could potentially use Chad Gable beyond just going out there and having a good match. They know that Chad Gable can be a top tier narrative guy. And because he's broken out, because he's demonstrated all of these different nuances to his ability as a professional wrestler that go beyond what happens physically in the ring, if I'm the WWE, shit, I'm doing everything imaginable to keep this guy, because unlike Ricochet, who's, in my opinion, already reached his ceiling in the WWE, they could continue to build Chad Gable even more and more and more, where Chad Gable could potentially be one of the top heels in the entire company. Chad Gable has given the WWE every reason to trust him. He's given the WWE every reason to sign a big ass fat check to prevent him from going to AEW. Think about what a tremendous loss for the WWE this would be. They have a guy in Chad Gable who had been a great in-ring performer, who was an okay guy in terms of character, but never really broke out. And then he finally breaks out, and then you lose him instantly? No way the WWE is going to let that happen. There's no way that the WWE is going to let AEW swoop in and take Chad Gable when Chad Gable's about to enter his prime, in my opinion. Again, if I'm the WWE, I'm doing everything in my power to keep Chad Gable around, because he's just about to flourish into paying dividends for all of the years that you've stuck around with Chad Gable. Will he go to AEW? Frankly, I don't think so. I don't think that the WWE would be giving him this high profile a feud, this high profile storyline, if they weren't confident in their ability to re-sign him. But everything that I'm seeing online, and I'm not that big of a dirt sheet guy, is that AEW wants this guy and they want him bad. And this, folks, is why it's good to have healthy mainstream wrestling companies, because now our boy Chad Gable is gonna get paid. Thank you. We can talk about Becky Lynch, but really the answer is there's no way in hell that she's going to go to AEW. I just do not see it. Becky Lynch is officially not a WWE superstar. She is a free agent. However, even with her being a free agent, she's still being referenced on storylines in WWE today. So I don't see the WWE having plans to not re-sign her. I'm sure it's right in their horizon. And I'm sure that this hiatus for Becky Lynch was always planned. It was always the plan that she was going to go off and take some time, whether it was a year or 2 years, to be there for the growth and development of her daughter. These are really, really important years. And it looked as if she was set to do that right after WrestleMania 40, but the injury to Rhea Ripley forced WWE to pivot and basically lean on Becky Lynch to help transition that championship to somebody else like Liv Morgan. And not that where your husband or your wife is technically matters, but I'm sure to a very, very important degree, it matters for Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, who get to travel together and bring their daughter around. I say that it doesn't fully matter because we do have very clear and obvious examples of people who are in different companies. Like, for example, Zelina Vega and Aleister Black, aka Malachi Black. They're married, but Malachi's over in AEW and Zelina is over in the WWE. But I just believe that Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins just have their roots just so deep in the WWE zeitgeist that I don't see them splitting up for this. I don't know how much of a motivator money is going to be either when both of them are already megastars. They've already gone through their prime. They're getting movie deals at this point. I don't know that a few extra hundreds of thousands of dollars is going to motivate these two to sign away going to AEW. It would be interesting to see Rebecca Quinn, Becky Lynch over in AEW in terms of the feuds that she could potentially have over there. Obviously, the first one that comes to mind is Sasha Banks. But the other feuds that I can think of aren't really so mouthwatering that I'm demanding and clamoring to see her go to AEW. I just don't think that it makes sense for her. I think that the best solution is just to come back whenever she's ready to the WWE. Let's talk about Dijak, because Dijak, according to all of the dirt sheets, is in the middle of negotiations with the WWE, and fingers crossed they go well. I know that there's all of the memes and the jokes between Dijak and myself, and I'm gonna put those aside and talk about my personal thoughts and feelings as to what I think Dijak should do. Personally, I think it would suck if Dijak were to leave the WWE, but I'm gonna be selfish here for a second. Dijak is one of my favorite in-ring performers in the WWE today. You can ask Sancho, my co-host of the Wrestling is Cool podcast, how much I talk about Dijak and how much I've been telling him that he needed to watch NXT because of people like Dijak. So I've been very high on him for a very, very long time. He routinely puts on the best match of the night, the best match of the week, the best match of the month, the best match of the freaking year. It is just a routine thing to see Dijak versus in a match of the year contender. And he did it recently in Dijak versus Obafemi versus Josh Briggs for the North American title at a WrestleMania weekend that already had incredible matches. I think from an in-ring perspective, the best one had Dijak in it. And I'm being selfish here, but I want Dijak to stay in the WWE because of the prospect of matches that I can immediately start conceiving in my brain that could have Dijak in them, but this time in bigger stages and for more people to see what I saw when I watched NXT. So I want Dijak to stay in the WWE. I want to see Ilya Dragunov versus Dijak again. I want to see Braun Breaker versus Dijak. I want to see Jey Uso versus Dijak. I want to see how Dijak would interfere with people like the Judgment Day. There are so many things that would be left on the table if Dijak were to leave the WWE that, frankly, for me, it would be robbing me of of so many awesome possibilities. But here's the other side of the coin where I'm still going to be selfish in terms of what I want. I also want to see Dijak perform. And if the WWE is going to pull an Odyssey Jones on Dijak and never put him on our TV screens, then I'd rather him go somewhere else so that at the very least I could get Dijak matches and enjoy Dijak matches. So I don't know where the WWE stands with Dijak. I really, I do not keep a finger on the pulse of any of those things. But if they are just waiting to re-sign him and then letting him loose on Monday Night Raw, then frig, I hope he signs so that we can see all of those great matches and feuds that I'm talking about. But if the plan is just to sit on Dijak like the cure for cancer, like a big pharma company would, then I'd rather him go into AEW or the independents. I think in AEW, he'd be an incredible fit in terms of the dream matches that he could have over there as well. It's just that I'd rather him have those dream matches with the characters that I personally like and identify more, which just happen to be in the WWE. I think he'd be a great fit anywhere and a great get for just about every single wrestling company on the planet. I'll be super quick with these last couple because these aren't people that are in contract negotiations. These are just WWE superstars that I haven't seen on TV in a while. And it's like, what the hell is going on? Shinsuke Nakamura had a great start to the year, a great finish to 2023 as well. And we haven't seen him since the draft. Dude, what the hell is going on? There's no reason for us to not get Shinsuke Nakamura. I frankly don't get why he got drafted to SmackDown, the show that already had less TV time, and a guy that was scratching and clawing to get TV time on Raw as it was, is probably just going to get pushed to the burner. And frankly, over in AEW, I feel like they could really find a good spot for somebody like Shinsuke Nakamura. The AEW already has great experience in terms of booking people from New Japan really well, and Shinsuke Nakamura kind of fits that bill. Cedric Alexander is the other one. Cedric Alexander might be the best wrestler on the planet to never get TV time. Like, I don't understand. It's been a meme at this point for the better part of like 2 years. Where the hell is Cedric Alexander? How can they not use Cedric Alexander? He is unbelievably good. In a similar vein to the Dijak conversation, I'm gonna be selfish. I want to see Cedric Alexander matches, and if that means him leaving the WWE for AEW or whatever other independent circuit he wants to be a part of, then he should leave, because I want Cedric matches in my life. They are always incredible. Ditto with Apollo Crews, but at the very least, they've been starting to use Apollo Crews. He's been used for the past 2 weeks, so maybe he has a little storyline. Maybe they're actually going to be doing something with him. But let's not forget, all right, that they went like a year and a half without using him ever. So fingers crossed that we get a little bit more Apollo Crews. If that is the plan, then, you know, I'm cool with things going the way that they are. But if not Apollo, you should maybe look at AEW or some other opportunities, because you're too damn good to not be wrestling every single week in front of an audience that deserves and wants to see you wrestle. All right, folks, that's a quick video for today. Thank you so much for watching, but that's it. I'm done. Get out of here.